You ever meet someone who mistakes your kindness for weakness? Well, someone tried that with my aunt. He thought she was just some quiet woman he could take advantage of. But he had no idea she had a backbone made of steel, and the nerve to return every bit of darkness he sent her way, with interest. Growing up, I always admired my aunt. Strong, calm, protective. One of those women who holds her entire family together without ever raising her voice. But even strong women get tired. She lived in a rough part of London, a council estate full of noise, tension, and danger. She'd tell me how some nights she'd lie awake, listening to shouting outside, hugging her little son close and praying morning would come quickly. She didn't complain, but I could feel the exhaustion in her voice whenever she talked about it. My uncle worked long hours, and she carried the weight of keeping their child, and their sanity, safe. Then one day, she admitted it quietly, almost like she was ashamed of wanting better. I can't raise him here. I want him to grow up somewhere peaceful. So when she learned she could swap council homes with someone across the country, she grabbed the opportunity like oxygen. My family had just moved to Devon and kept telling her, "Come here. It feels like you can finally breathe." And she did. She found a small, cozy 2-bedroom flat. Nothing fancy, but perfect. She packed everything with her usual precision, labeled every box, forwarded their mail ahead of time. She had moving down to a science. She deserved peace. But peace doesn't always arrive quietly. There was a 3-day gap where mail could still land at her old address. And of course, 2 important envelopes did. Bank statements. One for her. One for my uncle. Most normal, decent human beings would ignore them, return them, or send them back. But the man who moved into her old house? He wasn't normal. He wasn't decent. He wasn't even a little bit considerate. He opened them. Illegally. Boldly. And when he saw their information, something greedy lit up inside him. He used her details to track down her mother's maiden name. And he began applying for credit cards under my aunt's name, and my uncle's too. When she told me this later, I remember feeling my stomach twist with anger. How dare he? After everything she'd survived just to build a better life. This stranger wanted to destroy it? But karma has good timing sometimes. The banks flagged the activity. She was notified before any damage happened. Still, she was shaking when she told me. She said it felt like someone had tried to break into her new home, but through her finances instead of her door. She reported him, and the police basically shrugged. No money was stolen. No fraud actually completed. So he walked away clean. But trust me, that didn't last long. A few weeks later, mail meant for him started arriving at my aunt's new home. Big stack. Small stack. Then a bigger stack. And he clearly had something to hide. Because he had begged her during the house swap. Please, don't give anyone my new address. Back then she'd thought nothing of it. Now, it was making perfect sense. One envelope caught her eye. Thick. Red-stamped. Urgent. Debt collection. Her breath stilled. She opened it. Yes, just like he did to her. Then she opened another. And another. It was like peeling an onion of disaster. Loan defaults. Unpaid credit cards. Threats of legal action. Agencies desperately trying to find him. This man wasn't just sloppy. He wasn't just greedy. He was drowning financially. And he had moved to Devon specifically to hide. My aunt sat back in her chair, holding one of the letters, and something shifted in her. Not anger. Not rage. Just clarity. He tried to ruin her family. He tried to steal their future. So she made a choice. Quietly, calmly, like a woman handling business. If he wants to play with people's lives, let's show him the consequences. She picked up the phone. Called the first debt company. Hello, we're trying to reach Mr. X. He doesn't live here anymore, she said softly. Oh, do you know where we can contact him? Yes, she replied, with the steadiness of someone who refuses to be a victim twice. And she gave them his new address. The woman on the phone almost cheered. Then my aunt called the next company. And the next. And the next. Some were relieved. Some were furious. One said, "We've been looking for him for months." My aunt repeated the same calm line every time. "He doesn't live here anymore." Here is where you can find him. Not dramatic, not vengeful sounding, just factual, polite, and devastating. It took a few weeks, but soon, everything he was hiding from caught up. Debt collectors came to his door. Legal notices piled up. His phone rang non-stop. Neighbors later said he looked like he hadn't slept in days. He kept the blinds closed. He flinched every time someone knocked. And eventually, he lost his council property. A beautiful, stable home that he could have kept forever was ripped from him because he had to flee again. All because he tried to steal from a woman who refused to be stepped on. My aunt? She went on to buy a home, raise her child in peace, and build the life she deserved. He ended up running again from the mess he created. Some people think soft-spoken women are easy targets, but they forget something important. Quiet doesn't mean weak. Kind doesn't mean blind. And when you push a good woman too far, her revenge is always the sharpest. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? I post stories like this every week, so stick around for more justice, more drama, and more real-world revenge.